Guys, this is going to be part two to the Bojinka plot, um, dated uh, May 11th, 1995. This was a long document, and I'll be reading 6 pages each. Part one is in the playlist. I suggest you watch that before you go on watching this. And what I'll do is I'll make myself small. I'm going to disappear completely so you can read. Murad stated that he was going to pack Bibles in their travel bag in order to draw attention away from the bags of the contents. The security personnel would be intrigued by a person with a Muslim name carrying a Bible. Murad also stated that he was going to secrete the detonators in his shoes while wearing a Christian medal around his neck. And if the metal detector alarm signals as he passed through, he would blame it on his jewelry. Murad stated that Majid returned to apartment 603 on the 29th of December. He, Ramsey, and Majid went to a travel agent on Aerodactyl Street, where Ramsey and Majid made reservations to go diving at Batangas Beach. Murad advised that Majid may have made the reservation in his real name. Murad stated that Majid gave Murad a piece of paper from the booking agent, and Majid asked Murad to return the following day to collect 2,000 pesos from the agent. Murad advised that he placed the paper in his pocket without reading the name. When they returned to the apartment, Majid asked for the paper to be returned, and Murad complied. Murad stated that Ramsey informed him that the reason Majid wanted the paper returned was that Majid realized he made the reservation in his real name and did not want Murad to know his true identity. After making the diving reservations, Murad advised that he and Ramsey went to a chemical company whose name he could not recall and ordered some chemicals. On the following day, the 30th of December, Ramsey and Murad picked up the chemicals they purchased the day before. Murad advised that they purchased one small carton that contained 1.5-liter bottle of sulfuric acid, two big cartons which contained 4 bottles each, 2 of the nitric acid and 2 of the sulfuric acid. Murad stated that Ramsey paid 4 or 5,000 pesos in cash for the chemicals. Murad advised that Abdul Majid returned to the Dur Josefa apartments at about midnight on December 29, 1994. Murad stated that Majid wanted someone to accompany him to check his account balance at the Hong Kong bank in Makati. Murad said that he went with Majid, who told him at the checking account that the money Majid was expecting had not yet arrived yet. Murad advised that he is unaware of the origin of the money, nor does he know that the amount Majid expected. After leaving the bank, Murad advised that he returned to the Dona Josefa apartment and Majid went home. Murad advised that on either the 28th or 29th of December, he and Ramsey purchased the Casio watches that was needed for the timers at the Shangri-La Mega Mall in Edsa, in a store whose name he could not recall. Majid stated Ramsey paid for the watches. Murad stated on December 30th, 1994, Ramsey instructed him how to modify the Casio watches into timers for the explosives. Murad advised that on that afternoon, he made 2 of the timers, which took about 2 hours each to construct. Murad stated that Majid was present at the apartment on December 30th when he and Ramsey returned from picking up the chemicals they ordered the day before. Murad advised that Majid stayed with them that evening. Murad stated that they never discussed their bombing plans in the presence of Majid, but Murad believed that Majid must have known something was planned since Majid was aware of the chemicals and the electronic components in the apartment. Murad stated that Majid stayed that night at the apartment because Majid and Ramsey were going driving and were leaving early in the morning on December 31st, 1994. After Majid and Ramsey departed on December 31st, Murad stated that he did some shopping, ate a late lunch, and in the evening he constructed 2 additional timers. Murad advised that Ramsey returned to the Dona Josefa apartment at about 1 p.m. on January 1st, 1995, advising him that Majid had stayed behind to continue diving. Murad advised that on January 2nd, 1995, he and Ramsey purchased wires, clips, and batteries at the SM store and began to put some of the electronic components of the explosives together. Murad advised that he and Ramsey did not meet anyone the week leading up to Black Friday, January 6, 1995, the day he was arrested. Murad said that the last time he saw Majid was on December 31st, 1994, and believed that Majid was still diving at the time of his arrest. The week before he was arrested, Murad advised that he and Ramsey purchased some heaters, stovetop burners, big timers, batteries, wires, Bibles, and Catholic jewelry. Murad advised that Ramsey told him that he was going to take one burner and timer to visit the Abu Sayyaf group in the south of the Philippines to instruct them how to mix chemicals and timing vices and watches for explosives. Murad said that Ramsey was going to bring one-timer burner to Algeria, Egypt, and France to teach Muslims in those areas how to construct bombs. Murad stated that Ramsey had visited the Abu Sayyaf group once before in Mindanao during the early part of 1994. Murad stated that Ramsey told him about that the Abu Sayyaf group would be difficult to instruct in explosives since their main interest is in the use of firearms. Murad advised that he and Ramsey woke up around noon on January 6, 1995, went out for lunch, and did some shopping at the Harrison Plaza Mall. Murad stated that they did not meet anyone that day. Murad advised that late in the evening of January 6, 1995, Ramsey was burning some chemicals that were no longer needed. Murad said that Ramsey became careless, and the burning began to produce more smoke than he expected. The smoke was very dense, so they opened the front door and windows to allow the smoke out of the apartment, while he and Ramsey exited the apartment to wait for the smoke to dissipate. Murad said that the smoke caused some neighbors to contact the fire department because they believed there was a fire in the apartment. Murad stated that he escorted the fire department to the apartment to show them that there was no fire. After observing the inside of the apartment, the fire department was satisfied that there was no current danger and departed. Murad advised that Ramsey had departed the area when the fire department arrived. Subsequent to the departure of the fire department, the police responded to the apartment. Murad advised that he let the police into the apartment and assured them that there was no problem. The officer informed Murad that he wanted Murad to come down to the police station for questioning. Murad said that he informed the officer that this was his friend's apartment and that he would try and contact his friend. The officer told Murad to come to the station that night after he found his friend. Murad advised that he went back to the apartment and called Ramsey on Ramsey's cellular telephone. Ramsey told him that he was at the 7-Eleven store on Nabi Street. Murad advised that he went to the 7-Eleven store where he met Ramsey and Osama Asmurai, who Murad claims he had not seen in Manila previously. The three men proceeded to a karaoke bar where Murad explained to Ramsey that the police wanted Murad to go to the station for questioning. Murad stated that Ramsey told Murad to give him his passports and to go back to the apartment and retrieve the computer. Murad gave his passports, and when he returned to the Dona Jazifa apartments, where he was apprehended by the police in the lobby, Murad stated that he tried to escape and fell down on the sidewalk just outside the apartment complex. Murad stated he was taken to the police department for about 30 minutes, then was taken back to the apartment of 603. Murad advised that the police discovered in the apartment the computer, the chemicals, electronic components, one completed pipe bomb, and 3 pipes that were not yet armed. Murad was then taken back to the police station by the police. Murad advised that after the bombs exploded on the airlines, credit would be given to the Liberation Army. Murad advised that the Liberation Army consisted of only him and Ramsey. Murad stated that Ramsey made up the name in order to make people believe that the Liberation Army was a large group of committed terrorists. Murad advised that Ramsey told him in August of 1992 that he, Ramsey, would be traveling to the United States to commit a bombing. Murad advised that when the bomb exploded at the World Trade Center, he was certain that Ramsey was the person responsible. Murad advised that he and Ramsey would use the code A1168 of the Liberation Army when claiming responsibility for the terrorist acts. Murad stated that the A was for Abdul, the true first name of both Murad and Ramsey. The first one represented the day he and Murad was born on April 1st, 1968. The second one was arbitrary. The 68th year that both he and Ramsey were born. Murad advised that when the firebomb exploded in New York City subway in December of 94, Ramsey called him and instructed him to telephone various embassies, claiming that the Liberation Army, A1168, was responsible. Murad claimed that he contacted the Omani embassy in Islamabad, the American embassy in Islamabad, and the American consulate in Karachi. Murad advised that Ramsey told him upon his arrival to the Philippines on December 26, 1994, that he had placed a bomb early that month in the Philippines Airlines flight that travels from Manila to Tokyo's Narita Airport, with a stopover in Cebu, Philippines. Murad stated that Ramsey told him that he was only using a small quantity of explosives, as he was testing the timers in the explosive to ensure that it operated as he expected. Murad advised that Ramsey would remove the contents of a pill capsule and replace it with what Murad believed to be the explosive acetone peroxide. When purchasing tickets for the flight, Ramsey utilized his unknown Italian name, which he obtained from the Atlas software store on his computer. Murad claims that when Ramsey called him to go to the Philippines after the Philippine airline explosion, Murad advised that after the World Trade Center bombing, Ramsey traveled to Karachi, Pakistan, where they met on numerous occasions. Murad stated that Ramsey told him of his involvement in the World Trade Center explosion. Murad said that he never met Ahmadinejad and only knows that he entered the United States with Ramsey and was arrested. Murad stated that Ramsey used the other individuals that were involved in the Trade Center bombing. Murad stated that Ramsey told him that he resided with Mohammed Salameh in New Jersey, and he, Salameh, and Abdul Rahman Yassin and a Jordanian were involved the day of the explosion. Murad said he was unsure of the Jordanian's name, but believed it might be something like Isam, and believes that he had green eyes and light hair. Murad was shown photos of various individuals to determine whether he could make identifications. Murad identified photo number one as an individual by the name of Habia, a Baluchi from Pakistan who he never met in the Philippines. Murad said that the only time he met Habiba was at Ramsey's brother's house, Abdul Manin, in Quetta, in either September or October of 1994. Murad said that Ramsey never spoke with Habia. Photo number two was identified by Murad as Osama Asmurad. Murad said that the Philippines police told him that the real man's name was Wali Khan Amin Shah, but Murad stated that he never knew him by that name. Murad advised that Osama was a Saudi who allegedly lived in Medina, Saudi Arabia. Murad advised that he believes that Osama has a brother by the name of Sakir. Murad stated that the first time that he met Osama was in Abdul Majid's apartment in Karachi, Pakistan, in August of 1994. Murad advised that the first time he encountered Osama was the day he was arrested on January 6, 1995, at the 7-Eleven store in Manila in the company of Ramsey. Murad said that Osama was angry at the Philippine government because they arrested his friend and turned over to the United States authorities. Murad said he believed that Osama arrived from Islamabad on January 6, 1995. Murad was shown photo number 3 and identified the individual as Abdul Manin, the brother of Ramsey, who lives in Quetta, Pakistan. Murad advised that he was never saw Manin in the Philippines. Murad described Manin as approximately 31 years old, married, with 3 or 4 children, as an Arabic teacher in Quetta. Murad identified photo number 4 as Ramsey's brother-in-law, Abdul Samad, who is married to one of Ramsey's sisters and currently living in Iran. Murad advised that Ramsey planned to transport some of the chemicals and cotton back to Karachi after they completed their bombing of the U.S. airlines. Murad said that Ramsey was going to make additional nitrocellulose to commit further acts in the name of his religion. Murad also advised that the pipe bombs discovered in the apartment at the Dona Jazifa were going to be used in an attempt to take the life of Pope John Paul. Murad advised that Ramsey was going to plant the bombs on the Pope's travel route in Manila while using a remote-controlled device to initiate the explosives. Murad stated he was opposed to any attempt on the life of Pope John Paul because Islamic law forbids the killing of a holy man. Murad claims that Ramsey was uncertain as to whether the pipe bombs would kill Pope John Paul, or was certain that it would cause enough commotion to be newsworthy. Ramsey was going to credit the attempt on the life of Pope John Paul to the Abu Sayyaf group in an attempt to enhance their stature. Murad advised that he was born on April 1st, 1968 in Kuwait, and his full name is Abdul Hakim Ali Hashim Murad. Murad stated that his parents still live in Sabia, Kuwait. Murad said that his parents are both Baluchi from Pakistan, although his mother has Omani citizenship. Murad's family and Ramsey's family were acquaintances, and both families are Baluchi and lived in Kuwait at the same time. Murad stated that he attended a Pakistani school when he was very young and then went to the Amul Qura Abu Haifa Elementary School in the Amadi district of Kuwait. Murad advised that he then enrolled at the Khalifa Tajal Al Jiri School, where he graduated but never attended any college or university. Murad advised that he first met Ramzi in a mosque in Faril City in Kuwait in either 1983 or 1984. Murad advised that he did not stay in frequent contact with Ramzi while Ramzi attended school in the United Kingdom. Murad stated that Ramzi is married with two daughters and believes that they reside in the Iranian section of Baluchistan. Murad advised that Ramzi had a girlfriend in the Philippines who sold perfume at the Harrison Plaza Mall. Murad advised that when the Philippines National Police questioned him, they tape recorded the interviews. Murad advised that he does not know Mohammed Jamal Khalifa and heard the name for the first time when it was mentioned to him by the Philippines police. Murad advised that although he never met Osama bin Laden, he is familiar with the name. Murad also advised that Ramzi told him that he met the blind sheikh, Omar Abdul Rahman, on one occasion at a mosque in Jersey City, New Jersey. Murad stated that he was told by Ramzi that neither Sheikh Rahman or Sadiq Ali had any involvement with the World Trade Center bombing. Murad advised that he did not believe that Ramzi associated with any particular group. Murad advised that he did not know Tawfiq Rana, but he heard the name on the occasion from either Ramzi or the Philippine National Police. Murad also advised that he does not know anyone by the name of Salim Ali or Sheikh Mohammed. Murad advised that Ramzi has a friend, whom he called Murad also knows, by the name of Abdul Shakur, who was also born in Kuwait. Murad stated Ramzi met Shakur in Afghanistan either in 1991 or 1992, while Ramzi was taking 6 months of explosive training. Murad stated that Shakur traveled to Afghanistan and attended approximately 2 weeks of training before departing. Murad stated that Shakur is a very violent individual and believed in killing indiscriminately on behalf of his religion if it had resulted in the deaths of Muslims. Murad stated Ramzi would never kill a brother Muslim, and their views differ on fighting from their cause resulted in a strained relationship. As for any future terrorist plans, Murad advised that he and Ramzi discussed the possibility of bombing a nuclear facility in the United States. They also discussed additional attacks on American airline carriers such as United and Northwest Airlines. Murad stated that Ramzi wanted to bomb El Al Airlines, but believed that security would be too difficult to penetrate. The underlying reason for these attacks would be able to make the example of the United States and their government suffer for their support of Israel. Murad stated that America should remain neutral regarding the problems of the Middle East. And as you can see, there's some targets in the Bojinka plot that resonated, that were copied to the planes operation of September 11, 2001, including the original plan was to bomb 10 airliners, and they were to the Sears Tower, the Golden Gate Bridge, the World Trade Center, the Empire State Building, the Pentagon, the U.S. Capitol, the Washington Monument, and a nuclear facility. But bin Laden allegedly agreed to just 4 and basically modified the plan to just 4 airliners instead of 10. Yet, we do now know with the available information that we have in recorded history that there were going to be more planes hijacked on September 11, 2001. Now, if the official story says 4 regarding the 9/11 Commission report and the FBI, who were these guys? Were they part of the Al Qaeda group? Were they part of another group? We don't know who they were. And that's the end of this chapter. And thank you very much for tuning in, and see you in the next chapter and see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.